Oh yes, this episode is about Christmas Eve. But after the whole month talking about Christmas, the comfort, the noise, the chaos, the laughter, the excess, I realized something. Tonight, more than any other night, I need to be unfiltered outsider. Because outside these walls, outside my table, outside our routines, the world is still moving. Christmas Eve doesn't pause life, It just sits next to it. And tonight, I want to talk about that. For many of us, Christmas Eve means warm. Lights, food, people around the table. And that's beautiful, I know. There's nothing wrong with that. But that's not the whole picture, Because tonight, there are also people with no table. No tree, no noise, no cows. Children in care homes where Christmas is quieter, simpler, different. People sleeping on streets that don't glow with lights, but with cold. Families where food is measured, not shared endlessly. And that really exists, at the same time as ours. Not to make us feel guilty, no, just aware. And then there are the other ones who have something, but not who they want. People who can't be together tonight because someone is sick, someone is in the hospital, someone is locked away, or because life made a decision no one agreed with. People sitting by phones, waiting for messages, for calls, for updates. Christmas Eve looks different from a waiting room, And sometimes it's not tragedy. Sometimes it's just distance. Like me. Different countries, different time zones, different lives. Christmas Eve where the table is full, but one face is missing on a screen. You smile, you toast, you laugh, and later quietly you check the time and realize it's already tomorrow somewhere else. That kind of distance doesn't make noise, But it's there. And then there are those of us for whom Christmas is different, Not worse, just different. Because someone is missing, a chair that stays empty, a voice that isn't there anymore, a laugh that only exists in your memory. A missing bark. And yet, the table is still set. Because life keeps going, even when it hurts. And sometimes, that same table has something new, a new baby or a new face, a new beginning. And that's confusing too, I know. Grief and joy sitting side by side, neither cancelling the other. That's Christmas Eve too. It's not one emotion, it's all of them. It's gratitude and absence, comfort and distance, laughter and silence. And none of that needs explaining, And then there's another kind of Christmas Eve we don't really talk about. The quiet one. People who have a home, who have food, who have a tree, but don't really have company. The ones who sit in front of the TV, lights on, sound a bit louder than usual. Not because they are lonely, but because silence feels heavier tonight. That Christmas doesn't look dramatic. It just feels long. And sometimes Christmas Eve changes without asking permission also, You don't notice at first. The traditions are still there. The food is still there. But something is different, A conversation that doesn't happen anymore. A joke that no one tells. And everyone knows why. But no one says it. And somehow, the silence becomes part of the night too. So, if tonight you're surrounded by people, that's okay. If tonight you're alone, that's okay too. If tonight feels heavy, well, you're not broken, mate. And if tonight feels warm, well, you don't need to apologize for it too. Maybe the only thing Christmas Eve asks of us is to notice. To notice what we have, to notice what others don't, and maybe, well, just maybe, to carry that awareness forward. Not with speeches, no, not with pressure, just with humanity, you know? And maybe tonight is also about contrast. Some of us are surrounded by noise, by people, by food. Others are surrounded by quiet. And both are real. Christmas Eve doesn't choose one story. It holds all of them at the same time. And maybe that's why it feels so intense. Because it reminds us, not everyone is living the same night, even when the calendar says they are. So yes, this was a different episode. Because Christmas Eve deserves honesty, you know? Tomorrow, well, the madness continues. The noise, the leftovers, the exhaustion. And Friday, well, we will talk about what happens after Christmas, when the lights come down, you know, and reality comes back quietly. But tonight, wherever you are, whatever you're with, or not with, I hope you feel seen, and I hope you feel safe. Unfiltered, Unpaid, Unfiltered, I'm Jackman, and these are the holiday sessions of the Unfiltered Outsider.